You know, there are two things that will really keep you from walking with God and being all that God wants you to be. And those two things are bitterness and pride. And I find that often they go hand in hand, because when there's pride in our hearts, then what happens is it's easy for bitterness to come in. And often that bitterness is joined hand in hand with the pride. That happened with David, and I want to share with you about what took place in David's life, because I think there's something that we can learn from his life. You see, David had all reason to be bitter when Saul came after him. In fact, there was a point in time when Saul was in a cave and David could have had vengeance. He could have taken revenge on Saul, but he didn't do it. He acted in a very godly manner. Even though his men said, let's do it, we can get him right now, David wouldn't do it. He acted in the Spirit of Christ. He acted in a godly manner. But there was a later time when he became angry and bitter at Nabal, and he wanted to deal with him within anger, and he told his men, take your swords. And his wife, Nabal's wife, came to him and pled to David and said, please don't do this. And David didn't do it. But you see, everything had changed. His heart had changed. His spirit had changed. And it's so easy. One day you can be walking in victory and you can do the right thing, and the very next day you turn around and you don't do it. You know, that's what Paul wrote in the book of Romans. He says, the things that I know I should do, I don't do, and the things that I know I should not do, I end up doing those things. You see, Apostle Paul, David, great men of God, but every day you have a choice to make. You can choose to live in the Spirit and walk in the Spirit, or you can choose to live by the flesh and those human emotions. And you see, that's what happened with David. He had emotions in him that rose up, and he said, I'm going to take things into my own hands. And God couldn't bless that. You see, God blesses a humble heart, a heart that says, Lord, I need you. I want you, Lord, I just submit myself to you. And it's that humility that God honors. And when you have that humility, He fills you with grace. And grace will never take revenge. You see, grace will show grace to those who have hurt you. And that's what we have to learn. And this is what I take from the life of David and the life of Paul and all of us, that every day we have a choice to make. We must walk humbly with our God, let Him fill us with grace. And when people hurt us, rather than making a choice to become bitter, we make a choice to humble ourselves and to let God flood us with His grace. We become like Jesus by doing that. So learn from David. We need to remember that vengeance belongs to the Lord. It's not ours. Let's humble ourselves. Let's trust Him, and let's let Him do that mighty work in and through us.